see, put you guys right up here. Hopefully glaring too bad coming through the window. Just sitting at work, about to head out for a session. It's a beautiful day out, as you can see. It's like mid 70s, no wind, so I'm pumped. It's been so windy lately. Sorry about all the background noise. I'm right outside my office. Is literally a giant machine that's running. But today I'm thinking I'm gonna work on an old school trick. It's called Rope-A Roni. I pretty much have it locked in now. I got the ride in and the actual trick itself pretty dialed. The ride out, probably like 1 in 5, 1 in 6. Probably on the ride out, maybe a little better some days. I need to get that more dialed, but I figured maybe I could do a little how-to, show you guys, how I do it without brakes, because I don't have brakes, so it gets a little tougher on the ride out portion of it. Ride in and doing the trick itself is not too difficult. It's just the ride out without the brake. Usually when you have a brake, you can kind of tap the brake and kind of feather it to get out of it, but with no brake, it can be a little tricky. So you got to really get those bars spun quickly and get your balance just right to get the ride out perfect. But I love this trick because you can do a lot with it. You can link it. There's different ride-ins, there's different ride-outs, and like I said, like linking it is my future goal with it, is to do more with it. I need to do more with the back wheel, because with front wheel you're always kind of bent over, and being bent over all the time is really bad on your lower back. So rear wheel tricks, kind of helps you straighten out that spine, and it really helps, especially when you go back and forth, when you're mixing up your sessions between rear wheel and front wheel. I definitely suggest it. Learn some rear wheel tricks, learn some front wheel tricks, kind of get that variety going back and forth. So let's head over there. I'm going to change, and let's head over there right now, and let's do this. First thing I got to do is pump up my tires, because I had my bike in the car over the last couple of days, and it hit like 95 degrees. And if you're going to leave your bike in the car, you better air down your tires, or boom. So I like around 110 psi, 115. I don't know what you guys run for pressure, but that's kind of like the sweet spot. That's kind of what I like. So let's get these pumped up. All right, guys. So today we're gonna work on Rope-A Roni. I'm getting a little bit more consistent with this trick, so I figured maybe I can do a little how-to and show you how I do this trick. It's a lot of fun. I love this. I don't do a lot of rear wheel tricks, so I'm glad I included this one into all the things I do. I'm more of a front wheel rider, but I definitely want to get more involved on the rear wheel. I think it's a little better for your back as well, instead of on the front always being hunched over. So the first tip I can give you on learning this, obviously I don't have brakes, is the boomerang, is getting into the position. So what I like to do is I like to start off on this peg and just kind of swing my foot around and go all the way around and land on this peg and on this peg. And I would just practice that at first, the boomerang part of it, get comfortable doing that. There's other ways. I've seen other people where you don't have to go all the way around. You can kind of like swing, kick the tire, and then land here, and then land here. That's another way. It's a little easier, but it's just as acceptable to get into that position. So let me show you a few boomerangs, and I'll show you what I mean on how I kick the leg around. It gives me that momentum to kind of go around the bike and land on that rear peg. So that's what you want to eye for, is you want to eye for that rear peg. So let me show you a few of them. Okay, so you want to go all the way around, do the boomerang, and land on that peg. I would practice that first before you even attempt to do a Rope-A Roni. I mean, you can practice if you want the Rope-A Roni itself, by getting in this position. Again, I like this pedal forward. Getting in this position and learning how to coast it, and get comfortable by coasting the trick. For me personally, I like to learn the actual trick itself and then work on the ride in and the ride in, ride out later. The ride out for this is going to be a little bit more difficult than a lot of tricks, being that it's brakeless. But the ride in is not too difficult, even without brakes. With brakes, you can kind of feather that brake and kind of help you get that momentum to snap upwards. Without brakes, you kind of got to heave it up. So let me do another boomerang and I'll show you again that boomerang part of it, the first part of it. Kick your leg, land on that peg. And hell, this is a trick all its own, right? You can just, maybe do this, I mean, even that's a trick. So I would definitely first try working on the boomerang. And then again, after that, maybe learn on coasting the trick itself. So I would say for the second half of the trick is once you get comfortable doing that boomerang and you're pretty becomes pretty easy for you, then it's time to learn how to kind of get the bike into that position from that rear peg. So you're from here, and what you want to do is you want to kind of like lean forward. You want to get into this position, and you just kind of want to huck it up into this position. So you want to, your body, you want to kind of get up over the rear wheel. You don't want to lean too far forward because the bike will just fly out from underneath you. You don't want to lean too far back because you're just going to kind of fall down. So you want to get comfortable into this position. Once you learn how to roll this trick in a circle, like this, you'll get a lot more comfortable when it comes to hucking the bike up. And all I can say, it's going to require some strength, especially being that you're brakeless. You're just going to want to kind of bend your knees and kind of huck it right up into this position, and then coast it around. That is, it's going to be a little kind of weird at first. The bike's going to fly out from underneath you a few times, but that's totally okay. It's just going to happen until you get comfortable. You're going to feel there's a certain balance point up there, so you're going to huck it up. And before you go over, you're going to kind of bring the bike back into play. So you're not going to go too far. You're not going to go too far down. You're just going to, there's like a gray area in there where the balance point is. And the more you do it, the more that gray area, believe it or not, opens up for you. At first, it's pretty a tight window, it feels. It's like, yeah, if I even lean a millimeter forward or backwards, I lose the trick. But after you do it for a while, you'll see that gray area opens up a little bit for you. You learn how to balance with your leg, so that way, you can hold that position a lot longer. Now the ride out is the struggle. At least it is for me, and I've talked to a lot of other riders that do this brakeless, and it's a struggle for them as well. So, but once you kind of get that quick snap to get out, it becomes easier and easier and easier. It's just like every other trick. The more you do it, the easier things get. At first it seems impossible, but it's not impossible. So basically, to ride out, you're going to be in this position coasting around. You really want to focus with your weight forward, because when you ride out, you want to really lean kind of into the bike. You don't want to lean away from the bike. If you do, you're just going to kind of fall over to the side. So you really want to lean into the bike as you're going around, and then you want to snap it down and land on the pedal. So that's going to be a bit of a struggle at first. and you'll miss it a million times, but eventually you'll hit that one, and that muscle memory will kick in, and you'll start getting it more and more. I'm like, when I first started learning this brakeless, I was probably, it probably took me 1,000 attempts at first to learn the trick. Once I hit the trick, I would say the ride out was originally probably like maybe 1 in 100. It was that bad. Now I got it down to maybe 1 in 2, 3 I can get out of it. So that's pretty good. Of course, some days vary, but usually when I'm focused and I'm just want to work on this trick getting out, I usually can ride out every maybe second or third, maybe fourth time I can get out of it pretty easily. And that's probably I've been working on this trick, probably almost a year now, I would think, or maybe a little less than that, I'm not sure. Again, I used to do this way back in the day when I had brakes. So like it all kind of came back to me a little quicker. So get out there, let's do the trick. And, and again, the ride out is going to be the tough part. So work on that first. Let's do a few more. All right, that one was a little smoother. Got a little closer to the camera, I think. So I think maybe I'll do another one, but I think you get the point. You got to really turn those bars when you're in this position and you're going around. To ride out, you got to really like snap them forward really fast, and let the bike fall down. I like to pedal in this position. So again, you're up here and you're going around. And as you're going around, when you come out, you want to lean forward a little bit, and you want to really snap, leaning forward. You don't want to lean back because you'll just kind of go back. So as you're going around, you just kind of want to bring it around fast and then hit it, and then you can land on your pedal. At least that's the way it works for me. Again, with a brake, it's a hell of a lot easier. I would definitely suggest learning it with a brake. There's nothing wrong with brakes. I just choose not to use them. You're not less of a rider if you use brakes. So I just like the free feeling of not using them. It's a little bit more challenging, I guess, for me. So I like that. I'm not trying to win any awards or to be the best rider in the world. So I don't need the brakes. It's all little personal goals that I like to, achieve for myself. I'm too old and those days are long gone. So I just like to ride for me and ride for fun. I'm not really into competitions or any of that stuff. I don't like practicing for competitions. It just takes away from my progression, I guess. I like to learn new tricks all the time and keep the ball rolling. With competitions, you're working on routines for months at a time, and it's just, for me, it's just not worth it. For other riders, that's great. But yeah, so that's the Rope-A Roni. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll do some more in the future. This one's not too difficult, especially if you use brakes. So get out there and give it a shot, man. Do it. Let's go.